raining death from above with their arc grenade clusters, and pinning the enemy's movements with their flechette carbines. The Taraxi Skystalkers are an amazing unit, and today we're talking about them on Let's Talk Tactics.
Anvil of War! Let's talk tactics!
Hey guys, and welcome back to Anvil of War Gaming. Today we are talking about the Taraxi Skystalkers on Let's Talk Tactics. Before I get into it, I do want to do a quick reminder. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button and help support the channel. Lets us know that you're enjoying our stuff and we'll continue to produce more content. With that being said, today we are getting into them beautiful, beautiful models, Taraxi Skystalkers. I love these guys. I think they're probably more competitive than the sterilizers, in my opinion. I think they fit with the niche that my army needed, and they fit the role, and they're just a great support unit. So let's get into the statistics about these guys. So they have a movement of 12 inches, a weapon skill of 3+, ballistic skill 3+, a strength of 4, toughness 3, 2 wounds apiece, 2 attacks apiece, leadership 6, save of 4+, a 6+ invulnerable save, which is common for most Adeptus Mechanicus units. The Alpha gets +1 attack and +1 leadership, bumping them to a leadership of 7. They come stock with the Flechette Carbine, which is a 24-inch, strength 3, AP 0, damage 1 weapon. The real big part about these weapons is they're shooting 5 shots, which is important. When it gets into the stratagems and the things that you kind of want to do with these guys, they're definitely not going to be firing their all of their shots without some stratagems or without some support at big targets. They're more supposed to be cutting down infantry, but with some combinations and the right stratagems, you can really punch home with these guys. The Alpha is armed with the Flechette Blaster, which is a only 12-inch pistol version of the Flechette weapons, and it was kind of standard. It came on the Infiltrators. We're kind of used to that as Adeptus Mechanicus players. Same statistics though: strength 3, AP 0, and damage 1. They also have a Taser Goad, which is the +2 strength, damage 1, and on a 6 it does 2 additional hits. So the Alpha is kind of, I kind of personally think that when the new codex comes out, it would be really cool if they gave us the option of taking an Alpha with the carbine, because I feel like forcing them to take the melee weapon and pistol is just kind of it's just not necessary. It doesn't synergize well with what you kind of want to do with the unit. But anyways, I mean, that's just a small gripe, but the unit's still amazing, and you're still going to get a lot of work out of these guys. So they have several special rules. So starting off, they have the Soar Away special rule, which essentially allows them to leave the tabletop at the beginning of the movement phase. At any beginning of any movement phase, they can take off from the table, and they can go back into reserves. Now, they can't come back down the same turn that they go up. And it works in conjunction with their Thermal Riders special rule. And the Thermal Riders special rule allows them to deploy from strategic reserve anywhere within 9 inches of the enemy. More than 9 inches away from the enemy. Now, as said before, this is done at the end of the movement phase. You cannot go up into the sky and then come back down in the same turn. Sorry, guys, it would be too good. And just a quick footnote, I do want to recognize how close these guys are to the Swooping Hawks for Eldar. It's funny to see how Adeptus Mechanicus sort of take different parts of different alien races, Xenos races, and sort of implement their technology and their sort of tactics and the unit style, and create their own units with it. So it's interesting because, you know, the Adeptus Mechanicus are constantly devouring all the information and statistics and technology and trying to figure out ways to implement it and work it for the greater cause of the Imperium. But I almost said greater good. That's Tau. That's totally separate. What they do though with that is they're not allowed to use Xenos technology according to unless you want to get into some seriously heretical stuff. but they can repurpose the technology and use it and create their own weapons from the theory behind those weapons. So it's really cool to see that. I'm going off topic completely. So another special rule they have is the arc grenade clusters. Now these things are amazing. When they basically move, when you move the unit, remember they do have a 12-inch move. They can also advance as part of this, especially with their weapons being what they are, assault weapons. So you can really get a lot out of these guys in the sense that you can fly over an enemy unit. Once you do that, you only have to do that with one model as per the rule currently, unless that gets FAQ'd. But essentially, if during the course of your move, your unit flies over another unit, you get to roll a dice for every model in your unit. So if you have a 10-man squad, you're rolling 10 dice. For every roll of, I think it is a 5+, you're doing a mortal wound. So when you're doing a mortal wound, you're getting past all their armor saves, invulnerable saves, etc. Great stuff. Lots of sources for mortal wound damage in the Adeptus Mechanicus army. If it's a vehicle, you're getting +2 because arc weapons are sort of haywire weapons and they're better or more effective against vehicles. So now you're getting the +2 to your roll, meaning that you need a 3+ to do a mortal wound. 10 dice for every 3+ doing a mortal wound. Yes, please. Amazing. Moving from there, that's pretty much the gist of their base statistics, base rules, their base special rules. There's not much more to them. They're a flying model, they're a flying unit. When it comes to strategy, when you're deploying them on the table from reserves, I would like to point out that don't model for advantage and try to do something weird with this. Don't fold the wings or anything like that just to get that extra ability for coherency. But with the new coherency rules for 9th edition, these models have a pretty big wingspan, and you're definitely not wanting to jam these models together when you're deploying them on the tabletop because there's a lot of like fragile parts to them. So what ends up happening is you're being really careful with these delicate models, but you also have to remain within unit coherency. So you end up having to really be careful with how you're deploying them. And if you're taking like a 9 or 10-man squad, I actually personally prefer the 9-man squad because, well, for blast weapon reasons. But if you're taking a 10-man squad and you have to place these on the tabletop, you might end up finding yourself in a bit of a position with it. You might have more trouble than you think. So pay attention to that. Learn how to place them, the most strategic way to place your models, because they do take up a lot of real estate. So as far as stratagems for this unit, I mean, they did get a little bit of a buff with, I guess they got their rules in Psychic Awakening Engine War, but they have a specific stratagem that's related to them. But from the original Adeptus Mechanicus, the OG Adeptus Mechanicus Codex, they received a couple stratagems that really helped them. First and foremost, biggest top dog I have to mention is Wrath of Mars. As with the infiltrators before them, if you fire all of their flechette weapons at a unit, you do have the potential to do a ton of mortal wounds if you pop the 2 command point stratagem Wrath of Mars, if you are dedicated to Mars. What that's going to do is do a mortal wound for every wound roll of 6+. And that's really strong when you think about the sheer volume of shots these guys can pump out. A 10-man squad is popping out 50 shots. So, definitely worth mentioning that stratagem. Another stratagem I would like to bring up from the base codex is Protector Doctrine Imperative. You can give these guys +1 to their hits. They do not have a data tether, so they are not going to be receiving the additional +1 to hit. That being said, don't really think they need it. That +1 brings them up to 2+ hitting, and if you get the right canticles off, you're rerolling 1s to hit anyways. Or you have a Dominus nearby, or you have Belisarius nearby, in which case you don't really need to use the stratagem because 3 is rerolling everything also great. But yeah, it's just a great stratagem. It's great for all Skitarii units shooting, and for all Adeptus Mechanicus units. And it's just a great one to use. So from there we go into the Steel Rain Fusillade, which is one command point, and it is the specific stratagem from Engine War directed towards this unit. What it does is you can choose a non-Titanic unit. If you score a hit with this unit shooting at that model or that unit, they're now at -1 to hit. They've considered pinned, and they're at -1 to hit, which is awesome. Now, that being said, it being Titanic only is a little weird. I can see in the future this getting changed so that it's infantry only, just because, you know what I mean, like pinning a Land Raider with basically little razor discs is kind of weird. I just don't see that happening. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if in the 9th edition Adeptus Mechanicus Codex we see that change. But for the time being, amazing stratagem. It's only one command point, and the best part about it is that you only have to score a hit. You don't have to wound, you don't have to kill a model. And what you can do, because you can split fire, is you can dedicate a single model to shoot at that, or even just a few shots to shoot at the model that you want pinned, if it isn't the target of the rest of your fire. If it isn't the thing that you're actually trying to hurt, you're just trying to sort of pin that. So split fire, target that, pending FAQs, really cool little thing that you can do, and just a little quick tip for how to get the most out of that stratagem. That being said, talking about character synergies, we did mention, the reroll ones from a Tech Priest Dominus is great. If Belisarius is nearby, awesome. Rerolling everything is even better. The other sort of character synergies you might see benefiting them are Tech Priest Manipulus. If you have a Tech Priest Manipulus nearby, extending their range, you give them that plus range to their 24-inch weapons. Now all of a sudden you're extending their threat damage or their threat range. Could be good, especially if you're trying to, swoop over and do the mortal wounds to this target, but you want to be able to shoot at this target. You can kind of split your attention, which is awesome. As far as like Dominus and combinations, as far as the Canticles, and as far as the Forge Worlds that you want to take with these guys, I personally think Mars is probably the best for any sort of shooting focused army. With Adeptus Mechanicus, just the ability to roll those two stratagems, as well as the ability to replace the stratagem now the Canticle now because of Engine War. It's great. Going from there, there was one honorable mention I wanted to make, which is the Divinations of the Magos Warlord trait, and using the Overlord safeguards. What it is models within 6 inches of the character or the warlord with this trait. You're going to get additional hits on a unmodified 6+ to hit. So if you roll a 6, you're generating extra shots. If you pop that or have that aura in addition to having, say, Wrath of Mars on them, you're just generating that many more opportunities to do mortal wounds, which can be great. Although it only being within 6-inch bubble, the models within, not unit within, I think you're going to see a lot of characters babysitting like 4 robots or 6 robots and using those for the mortal wound output for Wrath of Mars. Don't see that changing a lot with the new edition. I don't see that changing a lot with the Adeptus Mechanicus' new rules from Engine War. So expect that to kind of be a mainstay unit and in most lists still when tournaments come back fast and fierce when we're all through this whole COVID thing. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed the content. If there is a new combination that I haven't talked about. If you have played with these guys on the tabletop recently and had a couple interesting little combos that you have done, please do not hesitate to comment in the video and let us know your favorite combo for the Taurasi Skystalkers. Thanks so much for watching, and take care, guys.
Sponsored by...
Thanks for watching, guys. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more of our content, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and let us know that you want to see more content from Anvil of War Gaming. Taurasi, Patraxi, Tauraxi, Patraxi, Tauraxi, Patraxi, Patraxi.